Greetings everyone, this is Alpha Leader Chunk of Meriki Revenge Fleet. Today I'm going to be playing an episode from the Breen Invasion story arc called Cold Comfort. Let's have a read. Breen slavers cripple a ship and try to recover long buried memories from its crew. Let's hail the contact and see what it's about. We are receiving a distress signal in the Ravek system. A Defri transport weathered a Breen attack, but they've taken heavy casualties and are requesting immediate assistance. My people do not have military ships, Dahar Master, and I am loath to send a lightly armed rescue vessel into such a dangerous situation. Please, you must do whatever you can to help them. Go to the Ravek system, which is in the Defri sector of the Alpha Quadrant, and respond to a distress signal from the Defri freighter. You will receive the following reward: 10,000 skill points, 12,000 expertise, 500 dilithium. You could choose one of the following rewards. We could either get a crate of Defri snow tubers, which are practically useless, or we can get a rapid reload transphasic torpedo launcher, which is pretty good. And that's the one we'll be going for. So let's accept the mission. And we have to head to the Ravek. Is that Ravek system? Well, let's go onto the map and head in that direction. Autopilot. Leaving the Out in the Cold episode and heading to the Cold Comfort episode. As we slowly fly through space, approaching the system. Wait for the system, the episode prompt to appear. There it is. Let's have a read. The Ravek system is a binary system with a blue dwarf star in orbit of a much larger class B star. Light from two stars should make Ravek 2 much warmer than it actually is, but a thick layer of theta radiation in the upper atmosphere reflects much of the energy from the stars, keeping average surface temperatures on the planet low. More than 70% of the land mass of Ravek 2 is covered with snow and ice for the majority of the solar year. Travel to Ravek system. Okay, let's begin Cold Comfort. Another episode from the Breen Invasion story arc. It's taking a while to load this one. I've played this episode before, a long time ago, on a different character. I'm not sure I quite remember much about it, but we'll see if it loads quickly enough. Taking its time, really taking its time, only 2%. 40%, here we go. It's patching. Here we are, Cold Comfort. Captain, we're being hailed by a disabled Defri frigate. Putting it on screen now. Continue. Thank you for responding to our distress call. We were boarded by the Breen and have taken severe casualties. We could use any medical aid you could render. Please approach and beam over as soon as you can. Continue. I think I remember this one, and it's going to be a pain to play this. It's like a puzzle you have to figure out, and I'm not very good at that. So here we are, nice and close to the Defri transport. In fact, we whacked it on the side. Talk to Defri frigate. Please beam over any medical supplies and personnel you can spare. We will send your transporter chief the coordinates to our trauma center. Beam over. Oh, another loading screen straight away. Yep, it is that episode where you have to figure out a medical puzzle or something. Talk to Dr. Kosa, I think it is. Where is he? There he is. Some of the textures haven't loaded quite right. Talk to Dr. Kosa. By the balance, you couldn't have arrived at a better time. I need every available person to help with patients. I think the Breen take pleasure in causing pain. Few of our crew were killed, but many have been injured. Continue. If you want to help, I need someone at table 7. Take the patient's medical history and triage the injury. If it is a minor issue, go ahead and treat them so we can make room for another patient. Triage and treat the patient at table 7. Continue. Well, obviously it's that person with the icon above their head. Let's see how we treat this person here without standing on the chair. Talk to injured Defrey. Please, it hurts! Help me! What hurts? It's my left side. I took a disruptor hit from a Breen rifle. Please, I need something for the pain. Do you have anything that will help? Yeah, I could smack you on the head and put you out of your misery. After all, I am a Gorn. So, a disruptor hit from a Breen rifle. Treatment for disruptor injuries. There are several medications available from the Defrey med kits that we can use to treat this patient's pain. Acinolafin, bicardridine, hydrocortisone, metroapan, and morphinolog are all indicated for pain relief. Once the patient is stable, we can treat the disruptor hit directly with a protoplasma, which should fix the damage done to the cellular structure. Wow, those words are some mouthfuls for a dyslexic person like me to pronounce. So we've got to get some pain relief and then a protoplasma to treat the injury. So, we've got to determine which pain relief is best. So, do you have any allergies? I'm highly allergic to metroapan. I was given it once and my airway sealed until it was completely blocked. I almost died, so that's not the kind of painkiller to give her back. Metroapan allergy. Metroapan is a very common drug used to treat and manage pain, especially in patients with this level of trauma. It's a good thing we caught this. If the patient was given the wrong medication, the result could have been disastrous. So, we've got to not give her that. Are you taking any medications currently? No. Do I look like I should be? Well, yeah, quite frankly. I'm about to give you some. Have you been treated for anything related to this issue? I doubt it. How often do you think I'm shot by a Breen? The last time I saw a physician was 2 years ago. I was treated for polywater intoxication. Polywater? Oh, so you're a drunkard. And that's the Breen idea of getting drunk. Back. When was the last time you ate? Midday, I guess. What does this have to do with anything? Why haven't you given me something for the pain yet? Ah, buck up, you can handle it. What were you doing before you were injured? I was repairing a power conduit on deck 2 when the Breen came out of engineering and shot me. They didn't even give me a chance to surrender. I wouldn't have fought them back. So we exit and we get a hyperspray and a protoplasma from the medkit. Is this a medkit? Yes. Use medkit. Please select a medication to load into a hypospray. Analgesics. Well, we can't use this one because she's allergic to it. But we've got to find one for a Breen weapon. So which one would be suitable for a Breen weapon? Anything but this one. Let's have a look at that. Ancinolophine is indicated for pain management of sports-related injuries. It is also used in treatment of muscle spasms. I don't think that's the one. Choose another. Bricardradine. Bricardradine is indicated for decreasing pain associated with serious trauma injuries. Oh, that sounds right. Treatment with bricardradine has been known to cause addictive behavior in patients who are treated with the drug for long periods of time, more than 10 days. Metropan is a non-addictive substance that is preferred in most cases of serious trauma. I'm not sure. I mean, this patient is a bit of an alcoholic, I suppose, so maybe another one would be better. Hydrocortisone. Hydrocortisone is indicated for treatment of pain in cranial and upper spinal regions. It is most often used as a treatment for common headache. No, that's not the one. And we skip that one because we know she's allergic to it. Let's have a look at this one. Morphinolog is indicated for treatment of chronic pain. Typically, morphinolog is used to treat side effects arising from the long-term use of other medications. That might be the one, but I'm not sure. So let's give it a try. Load into hyperspray. Exit. Now let's see if this kills her. That hyperspray didn't help my pain. It still hurts a lot. Please give me something for the pain. Give me something that works. Morphinolog didn't seem to help. Perhaps you should try a different treatment. Continue. Okay then, let's give her the addictive one and see if that helps. Use medkit. Analgesics. Was it this one? Indicated for the treatment of pain. No, it's not that one. Was it this one? Is indicated for decreasing associated with serious trauma. Yep, that's the one. Let's give that one a time, even though it may give her a new addiction. The pain from the disrupted wound is subsiding. That feels much better. Thank you. Continue. The bicardradine is having the desired effect, Captain. Now we can use the protoplasma on the wound to treat it without causing undue pain to the patient. Ah, come on, the patient can suck it up. Continue. Use protoplasma on the wound. And she looks like she's healed. Now the mission tractor says talk to Dr. Kossa, but I think I'll scan that, whatever it is there. Scan geranium ore. Please overlook my mispronunciation of things. I'm not very good at pronouncing those big words or reading them or anything. Now we can talk to the doctor. Yep, some of the textures haven't loaded properly. Talk to Dr. Kossa. Good work with that last patient. Has anyone ever told you that you have a talent for medicine? I need someone to check out the patient on table 3. I would appreciate any help you can give us. Help patient on table 3. Continue. Well, I'm gone. Why don't I just eat the patient? That'll solve everything. I'll stop their whining. Talk to injured referee. Mother, is that you? What hurts? An older boy named Tosca used to take my favourite toys when I brought them to school. If I tried to fight him to get them back, he'd break the toys so that no one could play with them. My mother said Tosca was out of balance. This guy seems a bit mentally confused. Do you have any allergies? I hated the taste of my mother's stew when I was young. She tried to convince me it tasted like spring, but I thought it tasted like bugs. Are you taking any medications? I used to play in the mud every time it rained. My mother thought I'd get sick from playing outside in the cold and the damp, but I never got sick, not even once. No history of past illnesses. Have you been treated for anything related to this issue? I loved it when my mother would sweep me up into her arms and hug me tight. She smelled like love and cooking herbs. Miss Devery likes cookies. When was the last time you ate? I used to pick berries with my sister on the hills overlooking the farm where we grew up. They were tart, so my mother would sprinkle granulated clava honey on them. What were you doing before you got injured? My father used to sing rhymes to me when I was a child. I would fall asleep in his arms and have the best dreams. The patient seems to be disorientated and unaware of their surroundings. Yeah, that's because the brain has been messing with their minds. I agree, Captain. It may be a symptom of brain trauma, but we cannot rule out a psychological breakdown until we do a mental status check. The stress of the brain attack may have been more than the patient's mind could process. That's true. Do you know your name? My sister had a doll she used to call Laika. Do you know approximately what time it is? I love catching Olmec insects at twilight. The light from the descending sun would make their wings glow like golden fire. Do you know where you are? Can we have our dessert now? I've finished all my vegetables. Do you know what year it is? My sister is 3 years older than I am. That meant my mum let her do all the fun things while I had to sit and watch. Altered mental state. There is something obviously wrong with this patient's mental state. I recommend that we scan the brain tissue for deep trauma. A hypoencephalography should reveal if there is any damage. Good God. Can't they give these medications nicknames? Make it easier to pronounce. Continue. Tell me the story of the preservers again. No. Get scanner from medkit. Well, the medkits are over there on the table. Obtain neural scanner. Let's go back to this nutter and treat them. Probably give him a whack on the head, that'd help. Conduct neurological examination. Captain, it appears that there is a cortical implant in this patient's brain that is causing the disorientation and delusions. There is an extremely high amount of neural activity in the area around the implant. Perhaps if we were able to decrease the activity with an anesthetic, the patient would be more responsive. Continue. So we've got to get an anesthetic. An anaesthetic, or whatever it's called. I don't know, I can't pronounce this crap. Please select a medication to load into a hypo spray. I wonder which one. Neurozyme. Let's try the bottom one. Neurozyme, because that sounds like something to do with the brain. Neurozyme is an anesthetic. It has also been used in gaseous form to incapacitate large numbers of hostile humanoids in a confined space. Ooh, that sounds dangerous. It is not recommended in dosages greater than 100 parts per million. Let's check the other medications just to be sure. Malenex. Malenex is an anesthetic. What is that word? Anesthetic. Treatment with Malenex has been known to cause temporary skin discoloration. Which is another medication. Axonol. Axonol is an anesthetic. It has also been used in gaseous form to incapacitate large numbers of humanoids in a confined space. Use of is not recommended for patients with severe trauma. Choose another. Anetrozine. Anetrozine is an anesthetic used for calming hyperactive nerve impulses. Use of anesthetic has been known to interfere with cranial implants by decreasing their effectiveness. That's the one. Load it into the hyper spray and go back to the patient and say, hey, this will cure your nuts. Where am I? I remember the Breen attack, and there was this medic. He seemed sad. The Breen implanted me with a cortical implant. It has been forcing me to relive memories from my past. Please help get it out of my head. I don't want to live like this. Okay then. Hold still while I get the hammer. Continue. This is hilarious. The Anetrozine worked, Captain. Removing a cortical implant is a tricky process. We should confer with Dr. Closer about to how to proceed. Continue. Okay, Doc, what do we do? I'm not familiar with any technology like this. Any attempt I'd make at removing it would be based upon an educated guess. We have some captured Breen in the brig waiting for transport to a holding facility. Perhaps you could question them. One of the monsters who did this to my patient might know how to reverse the process. Continue. So now we've got to go to the brig and talk to the Breen captives. Oh, so the Defry did manage to capture some Breen. I wonder what this door goes to. Probably nothing. Nothing as usual. It's up here. Always wise to check out these doors because you might find something in there to scan. But in this case the doors are all locked down. Storyline wise, I guess it's to stop boarding parties. Ah, sir, there are a few things you should know about the Breen before we talk to them. The Breen are a warrior race. They do what is expedient and will often take prisoners rather than kill. You get more work out of a slave than a dead man after all. I spit upon their expediency, but to the Breen it is only logical. They survive, but they do not live as we do. Strangely though, reports from the interrogations of Breen prisoners reveal that the Breen have a strong sense of personal honour and are troublesome when that honour is insulted. If you want to get more information of them, I suggest that you do not insult them or suggest that they kill without cause. Interesting. Continue. So, let's talk to... These are the prison cells. So let's see if we can find the Breen in these cells and see if they're willing to talk. Here's one. Talk to Breen prisoner. Talk to me if you wish, but I will never betray the Breen Confederacy. What is your name? ... Continue. He's obviously a loyal blind operative. for the Breen. Check each cell, make sure we don't miss anyone who might be in them. Here's another one. Are you here to let me go? What is your name? I am Tran. Continue. Well, thanks for that, Tran. Very informative. Told me everything about nothing. Oh, there's something to scan here. Uranium ore. R&D material. Match waveform. Take. Yep, use the arrow keys to match the waveform. Let's talk to this Breen prisoner. Leave me alone. I do not speak to animals. What is your name? Look at you, cowering in the shadows of Fort Trail. What hope could the Defri possibly have against might like his? Continue. I will not answer your questions. Go bother someone else. Tell me about Fort Trail. Fort Trail has more power and vision than a pathetic being like yourself can possibly comprehend. The Defri will be the first to fall to his might, but they will not be the last. He will not stop until the entire Alpha Quadrant serves the Breen Confederacy. Someday soon I will stand on the blasted remains of your homeworld and celebrate our victory. I will grind the remains of your leaders into dust under my boot heels. Fort Trail will be the man who makes this possible. Continue. Ew, what a nasty piece of work. It says interrogate Tran, and if that is, this must be Tran through here. We've already spoken to him. Talk to Tran. Ask your questions, warrior. What are you doing here? I am a combat medic in the 5th Order. I serve the Breen Confederacy. I was ordered to go to this system by my superiors. I am sure that you have encountered other Breen in Defri sector. Yeah, this is unusual. I mean, I don't get the narrative flow here. What does attacking a civilian transport have to do with Breen expansion? I do not feel comfortable continuing this conversation. My commanding officer is in a nearby cell, and he can overhear everything that we are saying. While I do not agree with his actions in this matter, I respect his position of authority. I will not throw this dishonor in his face. Continue. Prevent Breen It says on the mission tracker to prevent the Breen commander from overhearing the interrogation. How do we do that? Go to this console and enable acoustic dampening field. Oh, that's very handy that the cell has one of them. All audio signals entering and leaving this cell are being blocked by an acoustic dampening field. Continue. Well, wouldn't this Breen figure out that one of his men is betraying him if he can no longer hear what's going on? There's only 2 of his men here. Talk to Tran. I do not feel comfortable continuing this conversation. My colleague was saying that's how we've already heard this. We've already read this. We've already read that bit. Your commanding officer cannot hear what we are saying. My superior thought that these Defri civilians might have the information for which we have been searching. While I might have disagreed with his choice of target, it is not a soldier's place to question the commanding officer. I think my dissension was the reason I was selected to join the assault on the ship's bridge, a dangerous task in the best of circumstances, and one that had the least chance of success. Well, I'd say you got captured. You followed orders. You knew were dishonourable. Your failure is well deserved. Nah, we don't want to say that to him. That might clamp him up. Did you object to your commanding officer about this assignment? Or we could say, How can you justify an attack against civilian targets? This one sounds best, because we don't want to clam him up, we want to open him up so he can talk. I'm not sure how you run things in the Klingon Empire, but in the Breen Confederacy we obey our commanders. I may not always be pleased by what I am ordered to do, but I understand that there is a goal that must be achieved, and that I may not have all the facts that my superiors do. So let's see which response we want to give him this time. Do you believe that the goal you are attempting to achieve was worth killing civilians? Or, if your leaders are dishonorable murderers, do you think it is your duty to question their orders? This one seems like a more logical answer and less antagonistic. I didn't want to attack this ship. There is a nobility to being a soldier. When I enter battle, I know I could be killed. I know that others will die at my hands, but that is what we must do. It is part of being a soldier. Civilians are not part of this unspoken agreement. They do not wake up each day and know in their hearts it could be their last. They should be out of bounds as targets for people like you and me. There is no honour in fighting someone who is unprepared to fight back. I regret that I had orders to kill these civilians. More than that, I regret I carried out those orders. Ooh, sounds like a Breen with an ethical conscience. Probably why he became a doctor. You speak of nobility, but where was it when you shot helpless innocents with a shot? Nah, that's antagonistic. What were your orders? That's straightforward. Did you have an option that didn't involve attacking the death ray? Nah, let's just go for it. What were your orders? I am a combat medic. Normally my task is to repair the injuries of my fellow soldiers. On this mission, I was tasked with capturing civilians alive and fitting them with subspace cortical implants. These devices are barbaric, even by our standards. We use them to obtain memories from the most obstinate of interrogation subjects. This particular implant has a subspace relay intended to capture and transmit these memories so that my superiors can sift through the secrets locked in our victims' minds even as we moved on to implant more subjects. Wow. So in your eyes, is torture fine as long as you aren't killing the victim? Nah, not that one. And this required attacking and tormenting helpless men? Nah. Why did you do this? What information did the Deathry have that you needed so badly? That's the one. I'm not sure what exactly the commanders wanted to learn from these people. I can only guess that my superiors wanted information that they felt could be held by any member of the Deathry population. The cortical implants were calibrated to bring long-term memories to the surface, even going back to the target's childhood. Perhaps they wanted to learn something that even a Deathry child might know. Yeah, it sounds like what that patient was talking about earlier, when he was nuts. Would the pro-Deathry know what memories were being searched? Perhaps if they had the mental fortitude to recall the memories that were triggered during their interrogation. The pain from the implants can be quite intense. How do we remove the implant? The removal of the cortical implant is a very delicate procedure. The implants are intended to be strong enough to survive the interrogation process, but too difficult to be removed by the subject or anyone else. I have worked with these implants for some time. Have your doctors talk to me and I will tell them what they need to know to remove them. Success! Continue. Talk to Dr. Kosa. Let's go back and find the doctor. All the freighters look the same in this Star Trek Online. Even some bases look the same. To make a story arc, to make a story kind of explanation, I guess they all come off a production line. Talk to Dr. Kossar. This is just the information we needed. I will round up a surgical team and we will begin the process of removing the implant immediately. I spent some time talking to the patient while you were in the brig. It sounded to me like the Breen implant was triggering memories from the patient's early childhood, many of them involving rhymes and songs. Ooh, rhymes and songs. That means legends and hearsay. Most deaf-free patients are grandparents. Most deaf-free parents and grandparents sing to their children and tell them stories of our past and our traditions. A common theme in our songs is the preservers. We sing of their travels through the universe, their efforts to maintain the balance and their great archive. My children are particularly fond of songs about the Preserver Archive, a hidden place where they left all of their technology and records of the ancient days. It's an interesting story, but I don't know if a place like that could actually exist. After all, we're talking about children's rhymes. Continue. Captain, the Breen must believe that the Preserver Archive exists. There is no other explanation as to why they would target deaf-free civilians in order to obtain information about nursery rhymes. But before we leave, Tran has requested to talk to you again. He is waiting in his cell. Talk to Tran. Continue. So this ties into the Preservers, does it? An ancient race that created the Iconians, which is the current big bad in Star Trek Online. So let's go back and talk to Tran in his cell since he's asking to chat. Here he is. No, that's not him. It's the other one that's Tran. I'm getting confused now. Talk to Tran. Thank you for returning. I know that helping you was the honourable thing to do, but because I did so, I can never return to the Breen Confederacy. Therefore, I would like to request asylum from the Klingon Empire. Idiot! I, however, am not alone in this request. There are a small group of Breen that share my feelings. We know that anyone who attacks innocents cannot rightfully call himself a warrior. If you accept us, we would all like to join you. Continue. I will give you the information necessary to contact them. It may take some time before they are willing to respond. Your future actions will help speed up that process. Continue. So, a chunk of the Breen are going to break away and become allies of the Klingons. In fact, part of the Klingons. We've sent a communication based on Tran's information. I can't be sure that it was received, so at this point I believe the only thing we can do is wait for a response. Continue. Who could have imagined there would be a Breen capable of honor? I would have never believed it had I heard stories secondhand. The Defri are now in control of the situation. Are you ready to leave the system? Depart the system. Yes, I'm ready. Do you want to beam up to the ship, Captain? Okay. Well, that episode was a bit of a head game. All that figuring to do and all that working out. But it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. It's much better than just the pew 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 shoot 'em up ones. I just wish they had some voices recorded for the words instead of having me read them out. Anyway, that was the end of the episode, and our mission contact, Ambassador Sora, is called us to wrap things up. Cold comfort. I remember stories about the preservers from my childhood, and, of course, we have ruins linked to them on Defra. But I have never heard of an intact preserver installation. The Breen, however, are taking these stories quite seriously, and if the Breen managed to acquire preserver-level technology, they could shift the balance of power in the entire Alpha Quadrant. Forget the Alpha Quadrant, they'd shift power throughout the galaxy. It's lucky that you were able to establish a connection with Tran. I believe that he was sent by the powers to maintain the balance in the galaxy, and I am grateful. I know your intelligence service has more questions for him, but after that, I promise I'll do what I can to see that he and any other Breen who disagree with their government's actions are not forgotten. Haha, to restore balance in the galaxy. The powers send him to restore balance in the galaxy. Religious freaks. One of your commanding officers was requesting to speak with you. You should consider meeting with them when you are done here. You will receive the following reward: skill points, expertise, dilithium, and the rapid reload transphasic torpedo launcher, which is what I played for. Collect reward. Exit. And it's probably going to offer me the next episode to play, but I'll decline that because that will be for the next video. So for now, I hope that wasn't too boring. This is Alpha Leader of the Meriki Revenge Fleet, Chunk, saying good Star Trek playing to you. Please like and subscribe my videos, and thank you very much for watching. Bye.